Let's go down my well in my garden and have a look what's down here. Those of you who don't know, this is an old World War II well I found in my garden, and it accesses my underground bunker. Obviously this was a real well, so if you look down here, it carries on all the way down and it's 25 foot deep. Let's enter here. We're going to finish the tunnel in this episode. I'm also going to go through how much everything has cost to build all this from the very start to where we are now. Look, I've even got my own Christmas tree. Let's go through a bit of a recap of the last year of tunnelling, starting how we originally found the well. The site used to be a World War II army camp. When I took it over, I was clearing some bushes and I found this. I just assumed it was a bit of a manhole, took the top off, it was a long way down. So I thought, we're going to have to do something with that. One of the army brick buildings was still here and I converted that into my house. And I always wanted to connect this to the house. That was an ultimate dream. So the bunker obviously consists of the World War II well, the staircase I made here, and then the entry passage is just breeze block with brick, cavity wall, going into a shipping container which I buried. A year ago, I decided, let's make a tunnel, right? So that was it. We started, obviously cut the side of the container out, started digging. I didn't really know how far, what we were doing or anything. I thought, let's just give it a go. So now I've started the tunnel, I need to transport the tunnel dirt. So I made this cart here using 2 hoverboards. So we take the hoverboard apart, take the wheels off, take the tyres off them. Make it so you lean the hoverboard to drive it forward and backwards. This is probably one of the simplest and best creations I've ever made. Test driving the cart, look. And then here's with 3 tubs of dirt on. So to start with, I mounted the winch on my lad's car that I'd made him for his 4th birthday. Winch cable comes out the front and hooks up round the well like this and lifts the buckets out. Next up, I made this tunnel boring machine. Now this uses an old treadmill, right? I got this treadmill and decided to use the treadmill to get the dirt to come up into the hopper at the back, and using a post hole borer to bore the dirt out and then shoveling the dirt out the back. So I stripped the treadmill down and I made all the steel works to guide the dirt around the motor and the sides. Fasten it all together here. So I made the hopper at the back and then we tested it after I'd turned the wires the right way around. Oh yes, conveyor going the correct way. Then we had to lower it down into the well using the winch, with my lad operating the winch, 5 years old at that point. A high-speed test. See how the dirt just aims into the right bit, into the hopper. Wish me luck, let's go in. It was fantastic till I got to this point of the tunnel and it hopped off the end of the rails with a full bed of soil on top, and I had to spend half a day digging waste off it to try and lift the front up. Never used it again after that point. Next up, my friend Guy Martin came round, had a look at the tunnel, and he gave me his honest opinion. Did you like it?
Well, I like the idea, Dave, but yeah, it's going to end up, you're going to end up with a sore head, mate.
This is Guy Martin. He's the only man I know that's jumped the outer fence at the Great Escape, and here's a clip of him doing it.
As normal, Dave Billings spec. I know how Dave Billings.
Right, go and have a look inside. Go on. Okay.
These have got a bit of bow on them, Dave.
After he'd been round, I realised he was right and I needed to strengthen this tunnel up. So therefore, I made all these strengthening bars instead. Put all the strengthening out of 3mm galvanised steel and then folded them all up. And they all slot together to act as support without any bolts or anything needed to support it all. That's the reinforcements in the new section. The railway track also fastened straight on. And then I fitted this floor section in to smooth out the bottom of the tunnel. That's it, that's all the floor done. Let's have a look at it before it all gets dirty. Next problem we had flooding problems. So So I had to make this sump tank start pumping water out of this section. When we started this project, I was on 1,000 subscribers. We soon got to 2,000 subscribers, and as the tunnel went along, we got to 10 foot and we got to 10,000 subscribers, which was fantastic. Thank you. Everyone told me the tunnel sections wouldn't be strong enough, so I tested them out using this 40-foot shipping container. So these will be close to a ton on each one. As part of the Great Escape theme, I thought we need to get an air pump. So I started making my own replica of the original Great Escape air pump. Not the one in the film, the actual original Great Escape air pump, which I'd found some pictures of. And I also put a bit of fun to it. I made a man called Jim out of steel that powered it. So we used a Range Rover wide motor to power Jim along. Cutting the cog out there. Fasten it onto the end of the wide motor. Now, that used a chain drive. Putting the army bit of duct in. It's got this vent in it. Oh, there's Jim. Grafting away. And then, after everyone tagged him in all the videos and everything like that, Colin Furze comes along, has a look at my tunnel.
But no, but as far as like projects and stuff, it's got the same vibe, like walking in, seeing the tubs full of dirt, and like you saying this is what I did last night,
Yeah.
totally rings true to when I first started digging down in my shed. So essentially, it's like the smell and everything's very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think your hoverboard train thing idea is absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited for you, Dave.
Yeah. After meeting up with Colin, we had a plan. He was going to come back and we'd try and escape for the 80th anniversary of the Great Escape the following Wednesday night. So this is our escape we did together. Make sure you go on Colin's channel and watch the full video because it's hilarious. But this is the actual polished escape afterwards. We're escaping! So I needed a way to get my beer barrels in and out of the bunker. Also, I needed to get this dirt out. So I thought, let's finish this off properly, put the trapdoor on it, and then make a proper lift that is actually usable in the future to bring anything down here. Obviously cutting this lid out there, folding it, putting the top sections on. And that fits nicely. Putting hinge mounts out now, taking the hinges off a Range Rover, fastening them hinges on, and that's it. Beautiful fit, look. That's for the battery to go in there, and the one on the left, that's for the winch to fasten into. Hopefully it'll fit. That's a Range Rover tailgate catch. And then we start building the actual lift. All 3mm galvanised steel this is. Making the outer structure there, look, with a double bend. And everything just screws or rivets together. No welding needed on all the lifts. See how it slides. And then we fit the winch in and then put the main lifting platform in. The base is hinged so you can still climb past it. That's taking the bucket out and it lifts it all the way out up to trailer height, so you just slide it out, look. Then that's obviously what's made for in the future. The beer barrel going down, as you can see, it's perfect for it as well. So in the meantime of digging this tunnel, I also dug out the new bunker which connected to the house. Obviously I'm not going to show all this in this video, but I came up with this idea to finish the actual tunnel, to send this gas bottle through the end as fast as I could send it, just to try and celebrate the end of the tunnel. So 3, 2, 1, go. And in the last episode, I had to re-angle the tunnel to make it line up with the new room I'd dug. Various reasons, but the tunnel wasn't the right height, and I struggled like mad for 3 weeks to get the tunnel heights right. So now we continue on the tunnel and finish the last 5 foot, so we can drive this car full speed through the tunnel. This all needs clearing out here, and we need to put the 2 tracks in this last bit here after clearing that lot out. And then I've just spaced out some other sections there to work out what we're going to do. So we've got 2 more straight sections, but I need to cut some more out in the workshop now. Get these tunnel sections done now. Let's bend. See how the backstops move? Oh yes. The last 2 foot, we can do this. Quite excited that we're about there now. Oh yes. First base in, look, that fits perfect. So I couldn't connect this up because one of the sections wasn't folded right, and I'd dragged all my leftovers out, and obviously one was scrap and I hadn't checked. Anyway, I've gone to the workshop, folded another one, and John's put this together. Checking the next one fits before we put it in here, which makes more sense. Let's get this screwed on. One more section and we're in the opening then, look. We're still not quite high enough. Very close, but there is a gap underneath this rail. I've got this rail here. On top of there, because after what everyone said in the last video, we need to have slate tiles, so we need to go not as high as this, but it needs to be 20 mil, and this is 25 mil, but it also leans over to this side still. I'm going to get a ratchet strap onto here, and then obviously we've got the void here, put a bit of timber at the top, and we'll try and pull that up. So now we're digging the sump tank hole. Well, we're trying to anyway. The digger John helped me yesterday, and we got this dug out here, and obviously that's going to be for the sump pump there. So that'll sit below the tunnel height of that. You might think, hang on, you had another tunnel section in there before. We've had to remove that other tunnel section because the concrete edge is here that we dug. Originally the wall's back here, look, but it had that lip on the outside, 275mm lip, so that's there. So I had to put the sump right back over here, had to move, the other section was up to here. I've worked it out now. That there is the 3-degree angle section. So you got 1.5 degree there, 1.5 degree there. This here is a 1.5 degree angle, and the angle is at this end. That's my sump tank designed. It's got the inlets here and an outlet as well on that front face. We start cutting all the sump sections out now, and then folding them all up, and then assemble it all together in the new bunker. Again, all tech screwed together, no welding needed, it's all galvanised steel. Then I have to finish clearing out the hole, try and get this to fit in, a bit more digging. That looks low enough. I don't know whether it's right front to back though. Let's get this other section in. Just needs to go that way a little bit at the bottom. So I'll dig a load more out. This is the final bit of digging I need to be doing on this project, hopefully. And she fits. I think that's it. So now put the section together. The section's got the cut out at the bottom to suit the sump look. I'm getting really excited now because I'm going to get this job finished. Fasten the next section on. I'm getting the sump tank in, look. That's all in nice. I went to do these screws up here. They don't seem to line up. So I'm thinking, what's gone off right here? And then I look down the tunnel from the side, and you can start eyeing up the angle, and it seems to steer a lot here. So what I've done, I've put the 1.5 degree on this panel, on that side, should be this side, so it actually goes 1.5 degree, 3 degree, and is 0. So this whole section is taken out, spinning round. Come on Dave, wake up. So I take the section back out, spin it around, and then I have to turn it around that way as well to get it the right way. Well, I've gone deep enough for that. Managed to find this adapter that fits onto the pump here, which gets me into 32mm blue water pipe, look. We've got the two main drains obviously outside, that drains the outside of this slab where it joins the floor. That stops any build up on the outside. And then this obviously here, this little flexi duct goes in there. And there's two of them, another one this side, and that connects to the little channel we put in at the bottom of here, which collects all the water that's on the inside of the bunker. And they will come in here and come out inside here, look, in them holes. Let's fill this void with pea gravel now. So what we're going to do now, this is not straight with here, I don't want a bit in the way here. It's sticking out more here, it's closer there, and it's leaning back slightly. Right, that was as good as I could get with the sections I had. So the last section needs to line this up. So if we measure from here in a straight line, Tornado Dave mug boxes. You receive a mug, it's covered in dirt, some writing on it, you know what's happened here. I just hope you lot are as excited as me to get this tunnel finished. This is the last section, this is a big deal. So I've transferred all those dimensions onto here, which has created a plane at the same angle as that. That's the finished result. I've folded the flange up the end as well. I've continued the bottom the same as normal. Then I assemble the last section together and get it slid down the gap. First impressions, I'd say that's pretty good, wouldn't you? That's got to be a nice bit of sheet metal work. And then I fitted the final tunnel stiffening bars in. Look at the angle of that. See the width up here compared to down there. You see the slope that's on the tunnel, and now the bottom expands out this side. Let's get these rails in. So obviously the last section is curved, so I have to bend these rails to get them to follow the correct path. I'll try and use blocks of wood and knock them across and then put the screws in. It seems to work quite well. The only problem is, I do all this, and then remember, I need to put this panel in, so I have to take them all back out again. But never mind. I fitted a 30,000 subscriber sign at the 30-foot point where we were at the time, and I've now cut the 70,500 for the current position at the end of the tunnel. Thanks for the support. The rails are on. I've fastened some temporary rails down the other end. Let's go for our first powered run all the way through into the new bunker. Let's go. Now that's what we're talking about. That's the sort of thing that makes it all worth the effort. Should we go back? Can't really see anything. I'm hoping that we're not going to hit. How cool is this? I am loving this. That's underneath my garden. How good's this? So the bunker is looking pretty good, look. Tidied up a little bit in here and I think it looks great. So let's get back to the costing now. Start off with the old bunker. Obviously this was 11 years ago. I can't exactly remember the totals. All I remember is once we've finished, I think it cost me 10 grand and everyone said I was mad to spend £10,000. I hadn't really got any spare money at the time anyway, but spending 10,000 on a bunker was probably a silly thing to do, but I loved it. That's why I did it. So let's move on then. The tunnel. How much did the tunnel cost? The tunnel is 35 foot long, plus obviously the escape chute at the top, so it makes it like 40 foot of tunnel sections, to put it simply. Each tunnel section costs 50 quid in steel. This is not cutting and folding, this is just the steel, right? So the total cost of steel work is £2,000 for the tunnel. I also fitted 2,400 tech screws, which cost £200. And then just general extras, gas struts, this, that and the other, another 300. So 2,500 is a tunnel cost. Sounds all right, but then I think a 40-foot shipping container is less than that, and I could have just dug a hole, put that in, and I could have driven the length. Doesn't matter, we've got the tunnel now, haven't we? So old bunker 10,000, tunnel 2,500. How much is a new bunker cost? So we've got the concrete 6,000, the mesh that went in the concrete 4,000, paperwork, that's the planning permission and the structural engineer, blah 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 blah, 2,500. Shuttering, when I hired the shuttering, first got the quote, it was like 2,000. By the time you got a load of extras, blah blah blah, and the VAT, £4,000. Bricks, £1 each, 4,000 bricks down here, £4,000. Waterproofing, so that's the waterproofing around the walls, the new sump pump we just fitted, everything like that, £1,000. General building materials, £6,000. That's the beam and block roof and insulation, all bits and bobs like that. So we were roughly, this is no labour, £27,500 for this bunker so far. It's a bit hard to work out completely because obviously there's a room above as well, which some of the materials have gone on. But we're roughly around there with no labour. So the grand total of my underground development is £40,000. Is that, well, money well spent? Has YouTube paid for that? No. Facebook, no. TikTok, no. They've helped, but mainly I've paid for that. Wish everyone a happy Christmas. I've got my little Christmas tree here. Let's go upstairs, have a quick look what's going off here. Thanks for the support this year. It's been great. The channel is growing. Let's keep it going. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget, click that button. And I'll see you all in the new year. The next video, I'm hoping to make a high-speed tunnel cart that can do that distance in around 3 seconds. See you next year. Thank you.